Yeah, so physically I'm doing pretty well. My mobility's good. It's definitely better now than it was a couple of months ago still, so that's really great for me. This weekend I'm going to the Holly Fair Festival, so I'm going to a festival this Saturday, so that's excellent with all my friends. Can't wait basically. If you'd asked a couple of months ago whether I was going to manage that, I'd have said no chance, but hey, I'm going, so I am going. Unfortunately, Rhubarb can't come with me, but that's okay because she's coming to visit pretty soon too. So really everything I could want in life is coming to me. Isn't that ideal? What I do have come to me is a story. So I was working for Brendan on the pilot boats. I was crewing and Brendan was helming, bringing on board a ship a fuel oil surveyor. They go aboard a ship, measure the weights and technical characteristics of very large cargoes of fuel oil, and then we pick them up and bring them back again. It's fairly regular work. This time we had a slightly different surveyor than the one that we normally get, and this gentleman, how shall I describe him? He was about 6'6" and weighed about, I would say, 25 to 28 stone, somewhere in that region. His neck was almost twice as wide as his head was. And if you picture the classic dart player at his natural environment, that's the guy had come. Now normally he would come aboard ships in Milford Haven by step, but he'd been sent out to this ship by pilot boat, which I think he does not normally do. And in the weather conditions he had to use the ladder and combination in order to board the ship. So that means going up a 15-foot high fence to get to the actual step part of it. We were slightly concerned by this because he was really quite a large gentleman. So we took him out to the ship, and he did look a bit apprehensive, and I did try to offer him the option of not going on board the ship. Was one of his options, as it were, but he wanted to do it anyway, so he did. So all the other things being well, the gentleman waited for his moment, and at just the right moment he stepped up onto the ladder, then he dangled, and then there was a colossal splosh, and inevitably straight in the sea. I would say so there we were, man in water, man in. So we had to rescue him because he was so huge and so buoyant he could have stayed there all day basically. There seemed very little chance of him actually sinking. He had a lot of buoyancy, we'll say, but actually getting him back on the hull boat was a bit of an issue, because simply he was enormous. And I think he'd never done that before in his life, actually had that situation in his career as a surveyor. So after some effort and minor drama, we managed to retrieve the gentleman back onto our boat. Then we had to take him back ashore again, and fetch a new surveyor. So we did manage to retrieve him, but we weren't concerned about it in all truth. So we had a replacement surveyor. So it was slightly different to the ending as I might have expected, because the gentleman was he was okay with it being fetched from the water again, but I think he was then 3 days in hospital afterwards, because simply his health state was simply not very good at all. General personal health and welfare was basically not very good, and each time a doctor looked at him, they found something else that was a problem for him. So it did actually work in the gentleman's advantage, as it were, in that it guided his own thoughts and actions to doing something about his personal health. He came to see us a couple of weeks later and brought us both a decent bottle of whiskey each, as you would do, and he started swimming, started making a proper effort at taking some attention to his health and welfare, which really he needed as a person really badly, I would say. So though it was a bit of a drama for him on that day, I think and I do hope that it led him to a better self in himself afterwards. But that was the Bear Man, as I will always think of it, because it was like a giant grizzly bear had emerged from our boat and sploshed alongside afterwards. The Bear Man.